Something happened in the 2024 election that I did not see coming. Democrats didn't either. You see, they're so used to playing identity politics and getting away with it, and I'm so used to them playing identity politics and getting away with it. It became really interesting when Donald Trump and everyone else started questioning the identity of their would-be presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. You see, they've been pushing her as a black female. I don't know if you knew that or not. They've been saying that nonstop. In fact, that's basically her only selling point at this point in the entire election.
We're about to make history with the first female president, first black female president.
What they didn't expect was when Donald Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists to get beat up on by journalists for about a half hour, that he would question her race just like, well, other networks and herself.
And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
When it's convenient, Kamala Harris is Indian. She did a cooking show or whatever the hell that was with Mindy Kaling, where she said over and over again, I'm Indian.
We're going to cook today.
Okay.
Is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
CNN, in fact, had an Indian reporter with an accent do an entire 2.5-minute segment on how Kamala was Indian.
Kamala in Hindi means lotus flower and is an important symbol in Indian culture, rooted deep in the bottom of the river. Very similar to Harris's Indian identity, which she wears on her sleeve.
But now she's black. But does Kamala Harris have the right to just call herself black and get away with it? Can I call myself black or whatever I need to call myself in whatever political advantageous situation I could be in? She said one thing once. She ran on being an Indian when she first, or of Indian descent, when she first ran for Senate.
Certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Now she's running as a black woman. Now look, she's from Jamaican heritage, even though her Jamaican heritage leads back to an Irishman who sold slaves. True story, look it up. She's also half Indian. So yeah, she's black, but she only claims to be black when it's convenient for her.
But I'm black.
Yes.
And I'm proud of being black.
Absolutely.
And I was born black. I will die black. And I'm proud of being black.
She also says it's Indian when it's convenient for her.
We are both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
So yes, you can question that, and you should be able to question the identity politics of someone who's playing identity politics. If you bring it up, we can talk about it. In response to Trump questioning her race, Kamala Harris said that it's normal divisive rhetoric from him. She was at a sorority meeting or something where she said, hey, it's divisive for Trump to say that.
The divisiveness and the disrespect.
And it's not divisive for her to say, hey, that's a white old man that I'm running against, and I'm a black woman that's fresh and new, and Kamala's brat and fell out of a coconut tree and everything else she said. No, none of that is divisive. It's only divisive when Trump does it. Donald Trump was also asked at the National Association for Black Journalists what DEI was and if he thought she was a DEI hire.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
really don't
have said?
know. I mean, I really don't know. Could be.
She was, in fact, a DEI hire. The answer to that is yes, she was a DEI hire. When Joe Biden was running for president, he hired Kamala Harris because she was a black woman. He literally said he was looking for a black woman. This is the administration of identity politics, of race. Joe Biden says that he's hired more black people in his administration than anyone else. That's what he touted at one point. So why shouldn't identity politics be brought up? And why is it only racist? Why is it only divisive when Republicans bring it up and not Democrats? See, they control the narrative here, and they shouldn't be able to control the narrative. And if we're worried about division, then why isn't anyone questioning why Kamala Harris immediately segregated her campaign and had a white Dudes for Harris Zoom call? By the way, dudes is a loosely based term looking at the people who were involved in that. How can she divide people, but Trump can't? In fact, Trump doesn't. It's okay for Democrats to say, hey, I'm a black woman. Hey, these are white guys for me. Hey, this is whatever XYZ demographic by race or sex or gender or pronouns or whatever you call yourself to support me. But it's not okay when Republicans do it. White Dudes for Harris? Seriously? There is division. Kamala Harris is right. There's too much division in politics. But is it Trump that's causing it? No.
Recall, Donald Trump has openly vowed, if reelected, to be a dictator on day one, that he will weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies, that he will round up peaceful protesters and throw them out of our country.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations
of our republic.
It's such a strange phenomenon, what we're watching right now, something unique that we've never seen in American politics before. You have a candidate who couldn't be more divisive with the identity politics, pointing fingers at the other candidate for questioning her identity after all that she has to run on is identity politics. And in her campaign, while she's accusing the other side of being divisive, she's literally segregating her audience, segregating her few fans, segregating people who, by the way, didn't vote for her in the primary because none of these people got to vote for her in the primary. She's received 0 votes, segregating them by race. Just imagine what the reaction would be if the shoe was on the other foot. Just imagine if Trump had white dudes for Trump. What would the left do? And it's important to note that this Zoom call, White Dudes for Harris, included a bunch of guys who a month ago, before she was suddenly the nominee in a 24-hour period and they ignored 14 million votes, said that Joe Biden was okay. All of these guys were fine with Joe Biden. They all made up excuses for him, including her, that Joe Biden was fine. He was 100% healthy. He was a great guy. He was going to be there forever. Sharp as a tack, they would say. And then right after that June debate, everyone turned on him. They flipped. They told him to go away. In fact, actually, a few of the guys that were on the call stuck with Joe Biden until the last minute, until they got their marching orders from the DNC. Division in this country, it's there. Division in politics, it's there. Identity politics is what's causing it. And those identity politics are coming from the left. And it's okay if people are going to push and shove identity politics down your throat to then question the identity of a candidate who has claimed to be different races when it's politically convenient for them.